Hello again. My name's Gabe Zollner. I no sooner posted MBI 6196, the UK, a snapshot into America's future. I go and I open up another WorldNet Daily article. I'm going to attach the link. You're not going to have to look for it. And this is titled, Hundreds of Muslim Refugees Headed to Idaho. Well, the title's a little bit misleading because when you read the article itself, it looks like those hundreds are thousands upon thousands. And when I said earlier that the Chosen One had promised to transform America, again, he never was asked into what. We sort of now have an idea. He's turning what's left of America into a Muslim country, which is what I've been saying all along. According to this article, Twin Falls reported the city will receive 300 mostly Syrian refugees over the next fiscal year, starting in October. But WorldNet Daily has learned the numbers will be much larger statewide. Now, Boise, Idaho has been selected, as has Twin Falls, as have what was reported earlier, about 190 other cities. Cities in South Carolina. The city that the congressman from South Carolina, Trey Gowdy, resides in, that's also been selected. When you read the article, you'll find that these refugees are coming from all over the Middle East. They're coming from Syria. They're coming from Iraq. They're coming from certain parts of Africa. Who's going to be supporting these people? As I've said in other videos as well, who's going to provide them with health care? Well, you will. Who's going to provide them with housing? Well, you will. Who's going to provide them with the necessities of life? You will. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The African American community should be really pissed at the Chosen One. All of those hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars that he's squandering could be used to rebuild cities like Baltimore. The money could be used to help educate the citizens of Baltimore, the citizens of Philadelphia, the citizens of Detroit, the citizens of Chicago. I'm referring to the minority groups of people in those cities. But instead, the Chosen One is following his plan to transform America. He's bringing in hundreds of thousands of followers of what? Of what? Of what? Of Islam! You know, that peaceful, loving religion that Rodham Clinton has made reference to on more than one occasion. Huh? Obama himself, when he went to Cairo, gave speeches about the wonders of Islam, the contribution that Muslims have made. Huh? He didn't talk about the head choppers. He didn't talk about the raping and the pillaging. No. But it isn't that we don't get exposed to that, because we constantly see that being televised, including the burning to death of a live Air Force captain. I believe he was a captain from Jordan. Read the article. You're going to find it somewhat interesting, somewhat revealing, and if you're at all awake, somewhat frightening. There's no stopping the destruction and the conversion of our country. What's it going to be converted to? Well, if you have to ask that question, you haven't been awake for a very long time. The answer is Islam, that peaceful, loving religion. Obama is, I believe, the Manchurian candidate that was selected by King Abdullah of Saudi Arabia 50 years ago. This isn't something that happened overnight. One thing we've learned, well, there's a lot we've learned about Islam and the followers of Islam. They're very patient. They know that if they follow their plan, they will conquer all nations. What's their plan? Well, I had said in the other previous video as well that our own democratic system will destroy us as they continue to breed 10 to 1. 10 to 1. That's why they have multiple wives. They're baby producing machines. They end up with the vote. That's how they've been able to send 3 congressmen that are Muslims. Those 3 will become 6. Those 6 will become 12. Those 12 will become 24. You already have a Muslim in the White House. Who might that be? Well, again, if you don't know the answer to that question, you haven't been paying attention. That Muslim in the White House, Barack Hussein Obama, the Manchurian candidate. And who do we thank for having him in the White House? Well, Nancy Pelosi would be a good start, as would Harry Reid. They personally vetted him. And how do you vet someone that has spent millions of dollars burying his past? A better question is, why would someone have done that in the first place? Unless he had a whole lot to hide.